morning, dear students. I welcome you all to this third class of this week of Social Science for Class 8th. Children, before finishing and completing the content, let us quickly recap of what the chapter has to talk about. Wherein the chapter says, understanding law, we should know the importance of laws. Then in the beginning, children, we saw that, do laws apply to all? Then we saw yes, everybody is equal before the eyes of the law. And then we discussed so many examples, children. Then we saw the second thing, how do new laws come about? Then we saw that when people try to bring it into the notice of the government, they protest, they raise their voices through different platforms. And then their voices are being heard, and then here Parliament has to play a very important role. Now, children, the next and the last topic of the chapter, which is unpopular and controversial laws. There are two things in this topic, children: unpopular and controversial. Unpopular means something which is not highlighted, something which is not into the limelight, and then controversial. There are so many topics on which a lot of controversy happens. Controversy here, in simple words, you need to understand that outbreak of different matters of opinion. Different opinions come and clash together. So, controversial laws. Now, I'll tell you what are actually unpopular and controversial laws. Children, there have been certain situations where after the Parliament has passed a law, it becomes unpopular among the people. Then at times, even if law is constitutionally valid and thereby legal, people may find it unacceptable and unpopular. They might feel that intention behind it is harmful and unfair. For an example, Ayodhya verdict, children. So this was a time when nobody was fully satisfied. We saw so many controversies and everything. People came out in anger, frustration, whereas we saw citizens of India jumping out in laughter and happiness and joy. So there are so many things which are controversial. Whenever a law is being passed, children, it has to be a fact that nobody on a 100% scale agrees to that law. For example, children, GST, isn't it? So when GST was declared as a valid law by the government, we saw a lot of people protesting in groups. Different traders of different associations started coming out on road and they protested. But yes, since it was a law, it is a law. Now, children, therefore, a group of people may come ahead to criticize the law, hold meetings, write against it in newspapers, report it to TV channels, etc. In a democratic country like India, people can express their unwillingness to accept a law formed by the Parliament. Like I gave the example of GST, children. You can easily relate it with. So, and they think it is repressive. What is repressive is which is not in your favor. Then if a large number of citizens feel that lawmaking body has passed a wrong law, there arises a pressure on the Parliament to change it. Since we are sticking to the same example of GST, children, we saw that many associations of traders started protesting, but the educated sector, where the professionals, the economists of the country felt we do need to have GST slab for the betterment of our economy. Since the ratio of the protest against GST was not high, it was not even crossing 50%, the government was free to apply and execute that law. But in a case where we feel that a law which is passed by the government is not appropriate, it is causing any harm to our sentiments, our emotions, our lives are being suppressed, then if it is in majority, then it puts a pressure on the government to change it. Next, for example, according to the municipal laws, children, vending and street hawking is illegal. Do you see that anywhere the street hawkers are nowhere now? No, not at all. Every second street you go by, you will see different street vendors and hawkers having their pavement on the roads. Since it has been mandatory declared by the government, it is illegal, but we see all the vendors on streets, all the hawkers on the street selling their items and articles. But nothing can be done to this. Since we know that these are very poor people, how are they going to earn their livelihood? If we take this area of a particular street vendor, where is he going to sell his articles and how is he going to earn his daily, earning? So, children, for example, according to this municipal law, then pavements are made so that people can walk on them. Children, we see always near to the any hospital and all, we see so many eatables, items, vendors. Then all the pavement get strapped by these hawkers. Where are we going to walk? Where are we going to park? Where are we going to stand? Where are we going to walk? On the road? No, somebody is going to hit us and move on. So it is a situation of a dilemma what to do. Since that is also not right and this is also not right. Then children, however, even hawkers and vendors provide cheap services to the millions in the city when they sell things. You go and have a fruit chaat from a street vendor, whereas you go to a restaurant and order a delicious fruit chaat. There is a world of difference between the rates. Those quick bites, which are always found near the hospital. Say I live near Medical College in Lari. We see so many eatable items on roadside that people can fill their stomach and they look after their attendants in the hospitals. So the vendors or the hawkers, they sell those daily consumable items at a very cheap rate. At a very cheap rates. It is a means of livelihood for them. Therefore, if a law made which favors one group and ignores the others, the law will be regarded as controversial laws. It can even lead to a conflict. Simple. If in today's time the government declares no street hawkers and vendors are going to be there in this Lucknow city, what happens? It is better for the citizens who are generally moving and commuting the roads. But it is not right, it is not favorable, yes, I should use this term. It is not favorable to those vendors, since this way was their way of earning their livelihood. So, looking for one side and not looking for the other side, again looking for the other side, ignoring the first side, is a big controversy. So, whenever a law turns up for these issues, they are always controversial, children. The people who think, children, that such laws are not fair to have an option to approach the court. Now, what should we do? If a law is being passed that these hawkers will not stand from tomorrow morning, then what can be done? These people can approach to the court, since we have our judiciary system. Excuse me, children. Then when they approach to the court, the issue will be decided. In the court has the power to modify, means if a law has been passed, the court can modify that law, can bring in some clauses and change the law. And the court can also has the power to adhere to the constitution or cancel the law. So either cancelling or changing or sticking to that law, all the powers are within the court. Then children, as a citizen, our duty is more than of electing representatives to the parliament, is than that of electing representatives to the parliament. It begins when we carefully read the newspapers and watch the news to note how the MPs are performing and check if their work is for the welfare of the citizens of the country or not. This is how only we are going to know about a MP who is working around, isn't it? Therefore, we need to criticize their actions whenever required. All the political leaders and influencers, we need to criticize either positive feedback or the flaws, bringing out the flaws. So we need to criticize so that we should know that whether these officials are working properly or not. So, children, in the end, I would like to conclude by the following lines. It is the enthusiasm, involvement, and the extent of people that helps the parliamentary representatives to perform their duties properly. And yes, this is the most important essence of the chapter. It is the enthusiasm, involvement, and extent of the people who helps the parliamentary representatives to perform their duties properly. Again, I will repeat, the democracy, which is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So, children, with this we come to an end to the chapter, wherein in today's class I am going to attach the solution of the questions and answers, where we have modified the questions, and then you are going to note them down in your history civics copies. Thank you so much for paying attention, children. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye bye and take care.